Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Melissa with Calix. I'll just give everyone another minute and we'll get started. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. How do you show subscribers you keep them safe from growing online threats? Before our presenters begin, I'd like to share a few quick tips so you get the most out of your webinar experience. Located in the top toolbar on the right-hand side, you'll see your settings and control panel. This is where you'll find the question section. The question section will have a box with a question mark within the toolbar. This is where you should go to submit your questions or comments during the presentation. We'll address those during the Q&A at the end, and if we don't get to yours, we'll send you a written response. Finally, there'll be live poll questions for you to take part in throughout the webinar, and we'd like to thank you in advance for your participation in those. This webinar is being recorded, and we will post the link in the coming days on the Calix Webinar Hub. Be on the lookout for an email where you will also find the link for your convenience. Allow me to introduce our presenters, Tara Young, Regional Vice President, Go-to-Market Success, and Brian Taylor, Senior Solutions Marketing Manager for Smart Home. Brian, the mic is all yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. And thank you, everyone, for joining our webinar today. Today, you'll be hearing from, as Melissa mentioned, Tara Young, Regional Vice President of Success, Go-to-Market at Calix, and myself, Brian Taylor, Solutions Marketing Manager for Smart Home. Before we get started, we're going to initiate one of those polls that Melissa had mentioned. So our first question for you today is how concerned are you about cybersecurity and the ongoing digital threats your subscribers face? A, very concerned, B, concerned, C, somewhat concerned, or D, not concerned. All right, thank you for answering that. And it looks like 85, or actually most of us are either somewhat concerned, but 85% of us are concerned or very concerned about the online threats that our subscribers or your subscribers face. So now we're going to ask one more poll question. And this one is, how concerned are your subscribers with cybersecurity? So not you as the service provider, but your subscribers, how concerned are they? What have you heard from them? A, are they very concerned? B, concerned? C, somewhat concerned? Or D, not concerned? All right, thank you all for sharing, it looks like 64% are somewhat, you feel that your subscribers are somewhat concerned, 18% concerned, and 9% concerned. So as we go through this webinar, we're going to talk about some of those concerns and how you're able to address those concerns for your subscribers. So cybersecurity threats over the years, especially post-COVID, has continued to rise, and there are more sophisticated tools that these criminals are using to gain access to your subscribers' information, as well as businesses' information. Cybersecurity threats are not only a threat to subscribers and service providers, but also the United States. In the 2024 report of cybersecurity posture of the United States, that came directly from the United States White House. A quote from Harry Coker Jr., our National Security Director, says, "Simply put, we are in the midst of a fundamental transformation in our nation's cybersecurity. It is now clear that a reactive posture cannot keep pace with the fast evolving cyber threats and dynamic technology landscape, and aspiring just to manage the worst effects of cyber incidents is no longer sufficient to ensure our national security, economic prosperity, and democratic values." As you can see, cybersecurity is a national threat. It is also a local and regional threat that we'll be able to share with you some ways that you'll be able to help your subscribers remain safe as they connect to the internet on a day-to-day basis. These cyber criminals are not just focused anymore on large, big tech, Fortune 500 companies. They understand that with the tooling that they have available, that they're able to also target subscribers that you serve on a day-to-day basis and gain just as much access, not only to information, but also financial resources that these subscribers have built upon for years to come. So your subscribers need this protection, and you are able to protect your subscribers with safe and secure Wi-Fi connectivity. Your subscribers want access to the internet, and they want to have limited worry about these cyber criminals gaining access to their data. You're going to be able to offer them identity protection, so they have proactive dark web monitoring, the ability to have data removed from these nefarious websites, as well as identity theft resolution. If it's cybersecurity, protecting them from malware or viruses that from entering the home. These are all the things that we're going to talk about and how you can build a solution to help them with that. We're going to later talk about content controls, and as people access their residential networks, you're able to create controls to ensure that they're not engaging in content that's going to be harmful to your network, as well as harmful to those that are connecting to your network, including Wi-Fi controls, and then also home security. So this is physical security, being able to understand who is near your property, or if a package is being delivered, you have access to self-monitoring cameras that notify you when there's a change in the environment or the things that you're looking at from the lens of the camera that is most important to your subscribers. And then lastly, not only protection inside the home, but also protection outside of the home, specifically for our teens and tweens, being able to proactively monitor monitor events via social media and so forth. We want to share with you some of these solutions that we have available. So the first solution that I would like to talk about is really protecting your subscribers at the network level. In 2024, those that have GigaSpires and deployed, or GigaSpire systems deployed within their networks and their subscribers' home, we blocked over 36 million intrusions. We also were able to block 24 million pieces of content that that we wanted to make sure that wasn't being accessed by folks that were connecting to your network. And we blocked over 67,000 antiviruses. So I know those are a lot of huge numbers, and let's take this down to the subscriber or to the service provider's point of view. On average, we're able to block 6 to 10 threats per month per subscriber. That is huge in making sure that they have safe and secure connectivity. The next thing I want to talk about is Bark. So Bark is the ability to protect some of our most vulnerable precious assets, and that's our children and our youth. Since 2023, last year in 2024, all of these statistics that you see today have increased. So when we look at what our children are gaining access to or have the ability to have access to in terms of drugs or alcohol, 63% of tweens and 77% of teens engaged in conversations regarding drugs and alcohol. This is an increase from 2023 to 2024. In terms of bullying, 71% of tweens and 76% of teens experience bullying. And in terms of violence, we have 72% of tweens and 82% of teens expressed or experienced violence. And then 62% of tweens and 77% of teens experience nudity or sexual content. As their adolescent brains are developing, we want to make sure that we can not only interact, but be proactive in this engagement and proactive in understanding what is being fed to the eyes and ears of our youth, and be able to engage with them as adults to help them through and understand some of this negative content, understand what's right and what's wrong, and protect them and be proactive in those conversations. And lastly, identity monitoring service or scam watch. Identity theft is on the rise, and it's at a point where we need to ensure that we have the ability to protect the identities of our subscribers. Over 13 million people fell victim to identity thefts last year. And one other interesting statistic in terms of the dark web, these criminals are gaining access to our personal information, and it's being sold for as little as $10. And why is that important? It is important because as they build a profile on, say, myself, Brian Taylor, they're utilizing different pieces of information to gather and build a profile, and then they attack. So this attack doesn't happen immediately. It is a long-term thing where they're gathering information and utilizing that information to build a profile for their attack. On average, this theft of identity and information, on average, cost a subscriber $1,300. And what's even more alarming is that there is a victim every 2 seconds. So we've been on this webinar for about 15 minutes, 60 seconds. My math is a little off, but there's been a lot of people that identities have been stolen since we've just been here. And we have a way to help your subscribers be able to combat this. Before we go to before I hand it over to Tara and this next poll, I want to just say that I just mentioned off to you 3 different solutions that all Tara will share with you how to build a holistic solution and not an individual solution that's going to help you provide safe and secure access and connectivity for your subscribers. So let's go to the next poll. Poll 3. Are you interested in learning more about how you can protect your subscribers from cyber criminals? A, yes, I want to protect my subscribers. B, undecided, I don't know where to start. Or C, no, my customers don't have anything to worry about.
I'm super sorry I mixed up the polls, and so we'll have to improvise and put them in the reverse order if you don't mind.
Oh, no worries. All right, it looks like, oh, nope, you have the right poll, Melissa.
Phew.
All good. Let's go ahead and go back to poll 3. Thank you. I was looking at some of the results from poll 3, and it looks like I think it was 78% of you, agree that we want to make sure that we protect subscribers, and 22% are undecided. So with that being said, thank you for taking the few polls, and I'm going to hand it over to the amazing Tara, who's going to share with us how you can bring all these things together. Tara,
Awesome.
the floor is
Thanks,
yours.
Brian. Thank you so much. So I want to just touch on this big topic, which I think Brian did a fantastic job of underscoring, which is cyber safety is really for everyone. And this document that you see here, this illustration off to the left side of your slide deck here, is showing some information from the National Center for Cybersecurity and Crime. They do a report every year, and this is actually the 2023 one because the 2024 hasn't come out yet. But what I want you to look at is that there's a number in the blue, or the metric in blue is the number of complaints, and the metric in red is the number of losses. And what I think is really important here is that, number one, everyone is targeted regardless of their demographic, but how they deal with it differs. People who are younger get targeted almost as much as people who are older when you start looking at the 30 to 50-ish age group, but their losses are significantly different. Similarly, when you get to people who are older, you look at that, they're not targeted all that much more often, but look at where their losses end up. So what I want to kind of take away from this is that everyone is a target, to Brian's point, every 2 seconds, right? That information is out there and is sold. But also, everyone has the possibility to be exposed to something that could be potentially detrimental to them, either on an individual basis or a financial basis. So what we really see here is that non-digital natives, so the people who are 50 plus, have the most to lose. And I mean that in terms of dollars. They are the people that have, larger investments, they're usually a little bit more settled in life. They have a lot of dollars to lose. But young people are still targets. A lot of times when we see stuff like young people being targeted, it's trying to get control of their identities and sell those identities then off to a bidder. So one thing that those younger people have going for them is that they're better able to spot and react to cyber threats because they are digitally native. They know a little bit more of what to look for, those questionable emails, or maybe the branding doesn't look quite right on the thing that says it came from Amazon. So they're a little bit better able to spot and react to that stuff. So their losses are not nearly as much. However, those are financial losses, right? What do they stand to lose in terms of other parts of their identity that are non-monetary? And the third kind of group that we look at is those midlife families. So parents with kids or multi-generational homes, they kind of get hit from all angles because they have young people, again, trying to steal those non-financial identity pieces. and older people who have dollars that could be targeted for financial reasons. So what I want to kind of get in brains here is that we've cultivated a suite of offerings that help protect and secure people at all stages of life in various different ways. So what we're going to talk about a little bit today is then how do we operationalize that and productize that and put it out into the market. So let's go ahead just a little bit here and talk about why making cybersecurity core to your offerings is actually a really smart choice from a brand and subscriber experience perspective. This is my little virtual cycle of cyber safety. And I want to just start with the idea of protecting subscribers. So in that circle, you're looking at that top left. Protecting subscribers is something that we've always kind of done or thought about as BSPs. But as the nature of cybersecurity and cyber safety changes, we have the opportunity to be more than just, hey, I put protections on my own core network. Now we can reach out to the subscriber in their home and provide them with things that are going to give them peace of mind that they can touch and feel and hold and get results on. And by doing so, that's going to lead us to that next piece of this virtuous cycle of cyber safety, which is it's going to generate loyalty to you, to your brand, to your service offerings. That's going to build your brand. You're going to be known for having done these things, and you get the benefit of safeguarding your network because you're providing cybersecurity more ubiquitously across all of your offerings. So doing these things really starts to like I said, that virtuous cycle of cybersecurity in terms of your subscriber, your network, and your brand. And, it makes things a little stickier, protects your churn a little bit as well. So that's an added bonus. Go ahead, Brian, if you want to. We're going to talk a little bit about value-based offers, where we take these things that we have as products and we think about how we can position them in terms of people that we know are in our networks. One of the things I hear a lot from our subscribers here at Calix, our customers here at Calix, is that my subscriber base is older. So my question back to them is always, how do you position your offerings in the context of an older demographic? Your non-digital natives, and we kind of talked about them, they're targeted a lot. And because they're non-digital natives, they tend to get taken in a lot of these schemes more frequently than younger demographics do. So what we want to talk about is, let's absolutely ubiquitously across the board make sure that we have certain aspects of service in place. So when we start talking about that in context of Calix services, it's making sure that that Protect IQ is in place and making sure that that Scam Watch is in place so that customers can see very clearly, number one, that your broadband service provider is looking out for them, but number two, you're not adding that. It becomes a core part of your service offering. So in this particular situation, what we're looking at is a clear connect plan. You can see we've got a lovely image there of an older couple and their computer. And what we're talking about is an online experience that gets it. It is simple, it's affordable, it's designed for you. And also, if you look over on the side, built-in cybersecurity. So you're not adding it, because customers, as you mentioned before in the poll that we took, lots of you said that you were more concerned about cybersecurity than your subscribers were, because they don't understand it. If they've got a large scale version of, okay, I kind of understand it, but they don't necessarily know how to protect themselves. So what you're doing is bridging that gap between the things that concern them and the products and services that are in the market to help support that concern or alleviate it. So this is what we're doing. So this is an example of a value-based offer where you're speaking directly to the consumer about things that they know are an issue, and you're automatically providing some of the solutions. We're providing you internet, Mr. and Miss Customer, but we're also providing you security to run on top of that to alleviate your concerns about, is someone on the internet going to steal my identity? Is someone on the internet going to scam me out of money? Protect IQ can help with that. So that's one example. The next one we're going to go ahead, Brian, I saw you flip up, is the Guardian plan. And Brian talked a lot about our Bark product. And this Guardian plan is actually for people who are those midlife families or young starting families where they've got younger kids in their household and they're still trying to figure out how to be digital parents in a digital world. It's hard. And so putting the tools in place for those parents is super helpful and super critical in making sure that they feel enabled to do something that matters to them in terms of protecting their family online. So this example is not only Protect IQ being in here so that you're protecting their experience online, it's also giving them a digital tool set to have really important conversations with their children about how and when they're consuming digital content, but also what kinds of conversations are they getting into that, to Brian's point, may not be appropriate for them in their age bracket. So looking at the whole picture, the whole subscriber, and anticipating some of these needs with some of these products in a holistic solution is exactly what service providers are moving towards, being that answer for customers' questions around cybersecurity and cyber safety. Go ahead, Brian. Let's have another poll, shall we?
Awesome, Tara. Thank you for sharing that information. So poll 4, what protection services do you offer your subscribers today? A, device-specific antivirus software. B, identity protection. C, social media monitoring. D, malware and intrusion protection or prevention or detection. Or E, none of the above. And this poll, you are able to apply, or you're able to answer select multiple answers. All right, Melissa, if you want to throw that poll up.
Looks like she might be having some technical difficulties getting that one launched, so.
Yeah. All right. It looks like we may be having some technical difficulties. I tried to launch the poll here, and it is, oh, there we go. Oh, those are the poll results.
Yeah, it's.
All right, we'll go to the next question, next poll that we have. How about that? We'll do that. So poll question 5. When will you be ready to discuss offering your subscribers a safe, secure, and protected Wi-Fi experience with Calix Smart Home? A, I'm ready to discuss our options to protect our subscribers. B, contact me within the next 3 months to learn more. C, I will be ready to protect my subscribers in 3 to 6 months. D, we need more time to plan. Contact us in 6 to 12 months. And E, we are not ready to discuss protecting our subscribers. The poll is ready. We'll give it 30 more seconds. All right, looks like the answers are slowly trickling in. And we are getting close to time. So if we want to go ahead and close that poll.
Yep.
All right. Well, we want to thank you all for attending our webinar. We can stick around for another minute or so I've been following the questions in the chat. There was one question: is Bark built in with Protect IQ, or is it a separate feature? I responded in the chat, but I'll also answer that question here. Bark is a separate feature outside of Protect IQ. And as Tara mentioned, as you look to build holistic solutions, there's nothing preventing the service provider for providing Bark and Protect IQ for a holistic, safe and secure experience, both in the home, because that's where Protect IQ, but then also outside of the home for our teens and tweens, when they're in the schoolyard, at the park, at the town square, or whatever the case may be. So building those holistic solutions that include the solutions that we talked about today will be the key to provide the best experience for your subscribers. All right, I don't see any more questions. Tara, any last final words of wisdom?
No, I think that was a fantastic question, and I really appreciate that, and look forward to talking with any of you that have additional questions about how to build value-based offers.
Again, once again, Tara and I, we thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.